Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News. We have Hayden apologizing. That's right, the contestant who just walked the plank off the cruise ship from this last night's episode of The Bachelorette. Apologizes again 2 weeks in a row. And then Gabby, the other Bachelorette, says, caught in 4K, hey. We'll get into this story. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm also on Patreon at patreon.com/Dave Neal. Going live today, right after this video, 10 a.m. to do a behind-the-scenes live stream, patreon.com/Dave Neal. I also dropped this, if you are interested in extra content on Patreon, a private video from 2 years ago explaining how my proposal went down. Here's a quick clip.
Like, horrible. And he was shaking and his shirt was shaking. And
all right, so that's Tasha describing how nervous I was when I proposed. So if you want to watch this whole thing, you can go check that out on Patreon. Extra content for you guys. Appreciate you. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. All right, so we're going to discuss Hayden, and of course this comes out. Hayden's Florida voter registration. He voted Republican. Is this breaking news, folks? Here it is, breaking news. So, of course, the people that commented on this were not happy. Or some were. Some thought it was ridiculous. No kidding. Are we the only ones who find this weird? I'm a registered Democrat and always vote blue, but I'm not going to go look up someone's information and automatically brand them the devil because they have registered as a Republican. I agree. I think that when you find a villain and then look up their registration, it's like, what is this supposed to say, that all Republicans are two-time? No. Half our country votes Republican, half our country votes Democrat. And I know what you might say, well, there's certain causes that means you... Look, that's not a way to bridge the gap. That's not a way to unite all of us. That's just my thought coming from a progressive here. All right, so let's get it going on. All right, so before I share Haydens apology, we have two statements we'll barrel through here. Official Quincy, after his time's up with Gabby, said, this experience you gave me was by far the most unreal moment. You allowed me to be myself at all times and never judged me for that. And although tough decisions were made every rose ceremony, I believe in your judgment throughout this journey. Thank you again. I hope that you find love at the end of this. That's a nice one. And then Kirk says, if you don't read anything further, just read this. No matter the hardships or struggles going on, God is good. He has a plan for you and a purpose for your life. It's been a crazy ride these last few weeks, and I'm so thankful for the chance to get to know two amazing women, Gabby and Rachel. Made some lifelong friendships with the boys and the producers while traveling to some unreal places. Don't need a rose. All I need is a cactus because it's officially football time in Texas. There it is, Kirk, and with his response. And let's go to Bachelor Data. And she literally, during last night's episode, pieced together Hayden's lies.
Did you make comments comparing me to your ex?
Dude, I've been comparing my ex to, like this.
Your ex?
No.
Now, we don't know who he was actually talking about there. I'm not siding with Hayden, but I'm saying that to me doesn't, they bleeped it out, you know? I mean, obviously it implies that he was comparing her to his ex, but I don't know that.
My dumbass uses the same verbiage that Gabby uses to describe herself, and she didn't like that. Well, bitch, maybe you shouldn't use that word to describe yourself then. I don't speak like that.
Okay.
That's not my character. Respect you as a woman, and I heard you.
Thanks.
we have some new villains.
And then she doesn't hug him back. All right, good work there, Bachelor Data, clipping that together. But yeah, no, don't get me wrong. He goes, bitches shouldn't be using these words. He calling basically Rachel a bitch, or Gabby a bitch. He didn't call her a bitch. He referred to her as bitches. I'm not saying that doesn't make it better. Okay, I'm just, I you know me, we got to get to the specifics. So on this first part, I don't know what he said wrong. Let's watch again.
Comments comparing me to your ex?
Dude, I've been comparing my ex to, like this.
All right, so like what? Okay, maybe you can leave a comment. Maybe I'm missing it. Please, I'd like to know. I'm not siding with him. I just, that for me doesn't do it. So anyway, here was his apology from last week after saying Gabby was rough around the edges. What a night. With so many emotions going on, I have to say I have an overwhelming amount of respect for Gabby and Rachel. Looking back, I can definitely say I may not be the most eloquent with words, but at times, I aimed my heart in the direction of my intentions. Extremely glad Rachel saw me for who I am inside and allowed me to continue the journey with her. Well, I guess that's not an apology, so I guess I'm wrong. I guess the title is wrong. Hayden apologizes again. So, all right, well, I'll keep it. Whatever. You guys can correct me. So that's it. That was the first one. But look, He's telling us that they left out the part where she described herself as rough around the edges. So he goes, you're rough around the edges. Now, but that doesn't mean just because someone else uses a word that you get to use it. Looking at you, girlfriend of a famous Bachelor person. Okay, so what? You'll know if you know. So anyway, here he is today, or last night he posted this, which, by the way, I gotta respect him for not skipping leg day. He's got pretty good leg muscles. A lot of guys put time in on the arms, but doesn't skip leg day, so looking pretty good there. He says, for those who watched tonight's episode, you saw me at my absolute worst and lowest moment. I have always tried to carry myself with humility and respect for others. However, my complete lapse of judgment was not only disappointing, but it was absolutely unacceptable. I genuinely want to express my deepest apologies to both Gabby and Rachel for my actions. I take full responsibility for not being the man I was raised to be in those moments, especially towards these two wonderful, deserving ladies who I truly do respect. I really hate how this season ended, but this experience was not one that I was mentally or emotionally prepared for with the current things going on in my life. Despite how everything transpired, it was an amazing experience that I will never forget and will learn from. I wish Gabby and Rachel all the best and hope they can accept my apology. I'll say this. Whatever he said, Bachelor edited it in a way to make it the most cutting that it could be. I'm not saying it's right, but I think if we listen to more of his conversation with Gabby and more of who he was talking about and where that information came from that he said. Now, again, he still said bitches do this and all that. Absolutely. But I don't think it would be as cutting. And I think that you can say that about most things on the show. In most cases, when you see a villain or whatever, and then they do a podcast after, you go, oh, they're not a terrible person. They're just not maybe great at talking or whatever. And of course, in that moment where he's comparing her to others, that's not a good look. If that's what was happening. I say if because I don't know how the rest of that scene played out. They only show us what they show us. So anyway, Gabby posts this, caught in 4K. Hey. And of course, let's read some comments there. Oh, geez, what happened? Oh my God, did you see that? Oh boy, that was scary. I just saw my soul peeking back at me. We shoot it live, folks. So people are saying, you should have been with Nate. Excuse me, I'm watching last week and you are a goddess. I cannot believe the audacity of these men. You are not rough around the edges. You are stunning and incredible in every way. We've got him in HD 1080p. We have you on camera. Jason, he is your true love. All right, so, there it is, folks. And of course, articles coming out. Hayden says he's not mentally or emotionally prepared for The Bachelorette, apologizes to Gabby and Rachel. When did he say that? Let's see. I didn't see that. Let's see if we can find that part. I take full response. I really hate how the season ended, but this experience was not one that I was... Oh, okay, there, I guess. That he was not mentally or emotionally prepared for with the current things going on in my life. So we just covered all that. Yeah, I don't know. Will he be on Bachelor in Paradise? I don't know. It's one of those things, like, for me, it was a relatively tame villain moment. It was sinister, but it wasn't... I don't know. It's almost just like we've seen so many wild, jaw-dropping villain things happen that for me, that's not really it. But at the same time, I was actually surprised how calm Rachel was in dealing with him. She was like, you got to go. And then he hugged her and she just kind of stood there like that. Like, oh boy, we've all been there. Let me know what you guys think. That's it for me. More content coming your way. I'm going live right after this at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Patreon.com/Dave Neal for private bonus content. We'll talk to you then. Bye, everybody.